Okay, so then let's start. So in the last lecture, we have learned about the pipes. Okay, what are pipes and what are they used for? And then we have also created our own custom pipe. Okay, so how did it started? Okay, and then later on we have created our own custom directive. Okay, so that directive basically, if you hover or any of the title here, so it will basically change the color of it. Okay, so that the custom directive that we have created. Um, then today we are going to learn about component communication. Okay, so this is like a very important topic, and in most of your application, okay, you will have a lot of components, and these components may communicate with each other. Okay, so the data can be passed from one component to another component. Then the component can be like uh, a component inside another component, and that component tries to access some values from outer component, or outer component wants to access values from a child component. Okay, so there will be like parent child relationship. Okay, then we can also have a sibling relationship as well. Like we have a component side by side, and let's say in our same page itself, we have a one component here and another component here. And then I want to communicate between these two components. Okay, they may not be parent and child, they will be siblings, or it may happen that one component is on one page and another component is on another page. Okay, so I want to send data from this page to another page. So that is also like component communication, because the component is communicating, right? So how do you communicate between these components? Okay, so what we will do is we will add one component here. Right now we only have two components. One is your app product app component, and another is product list component. So in this component we cannot do any like some communication. So let's do one thing, create one more component. Okay, here I will be adding a rating for each and every product. Okay, and that rating will be displayed here as a star rating. Okay, there will be star icon here, which will be displayed for each and every product. Okay, so I can just say display a number as well, but displaying a star will be a good option, and creating it as a component will be a better option, because it can be reusable. I can reuse that star component. Okay, here then I can use it in product detail component. Also, I can use it for customer feedback as well. I can get a review on that product, and for that review, I can use star. For customer feedback, also I can use the star component. Okay, so that star component is basically a reusable component. Okay. So let's create that component. But before that, we need to add some ratings to our products. So I'll go to my product list here. And for each product, I need to add a rating. So I'll go to this, and first of all, I will add a rating here, which is of type number. Okay. So each component will have some rating. So maybe it is 0, whatever. Okay, so let's say it has a rating 4.8. Okay. And this is also having rating 4.5. Let's say 4. Then Redmi 3.7, something like this. TV will have, let's say, 4.4, and Whirlpool 4 rating. Okay. So we have say I'll make it 3 rating. Okay. So let's say I have all of these ratings for this. Now, if I want to add this rating here, I can simply add it, let's say, before this price, okay, below this price. So price is displayed here. So after this, I'll add a p tag, and here, let's say, a rating colon product dot rating. Okay. So if you see, I'll say see the rating for each and every product here. Okay, so 4.8, 4.5, 4, 4.4, 3, 3.7. Okay, so all of the ratings are displayed now. I want to convert all of these ratings into a star. Okay, so for that purpose, I'll create a new component. Okay, and in that component, I will display all the stars. Okay, so let's go and create the component. Okay. So before that, if you want to add rating, you can add it side by side, because adding a creating a component is a uh, uh, thing that we have already done. So you just need to add a rating here, a rating number, and then go into your product list and add rating for each and every product, and just show it below product rating, product price, or anywhere you want to show it. Okay. So I'll create a component. To create a component, you can write ng G for generate, and then C for component. Okay, and there here I will say star component, and I need to use this component inside my app module. So I'll use m app dot module. So it will be declared in app dot module. Here you can see the star component has been added. Okay, so my component has been added. I'll start it. How do I use it here? How do I use it? Okay, to use it, you can anyone can tell me how to use it? Yes, anyone? I want to use the star component here.
Mention the selector name over there.
Correct. The selector name is app hyphen star, so you can use app hyphen star here. App hyphen star. Okay. So now if you see, every component will show star works. Okay, because in HTML there is star works paragraph. Okay, so you will see rating for every component here. Now I want to add the icon. Okay, so we can go to Bootstrap. Bootstrap has some beautiful icons for us. So we can see here icons. You can click on this, but you need to install Bootstrap icons. You can copy this npm install command, and then you can go to command prompt and paste your Bootstrap icon commands. It will install Bootstrap icons. You can check it in the package.json file. Here the Bootstrap icons has been installed. Now I need want to use this Bootstrap icons in my HTML file, but before that I need to use like install or usages. So basically I need to either import it, right, like this, import CRR URL, or you can use link tag, but since we have downloaded it through npm bootstrap icons, we can include its css. You can see that we have to include css only. Okay, we don't have to include any other things, just css we have to include. Now it's a global style, so we can go to styles.css, and here we can import our bootstrap icons. Okay, how do I do this? You can says check here, you'll have a bootstrap hyphen icons, and then in that you will have a font folder, and inside that font folder we have bootstrap icons hyphen bootstrap hyphen icons.css or scss file, whichever you want to use. I'll use scss at the rate import. Okay, and then when is tilde sign for since it is already in node modules, so by default node modules folder will be picked up when you use a tilde sign. So bootstrap hyphen icons slash font slash bootstrap, sorry, bootstrap hyphen icons dot scss. Okay, so that's how I can import bootstrap icon styles. Now I'll start my application and see. So it started. Now you can visit here. Okay, now you don't need to check it. We just have, because we will use one icon from this. Okay, to use the icon you can follow any of this symbol. Okay, any of this method. So embedded, we have a sprite, external image, or icon font. I will use the icon font. So I'll copy this one, and let's say in app star, here I will paste this DI alarm for now, and we'll check. See, the alarm icon is displayed here. Okay, now I will use the star icon. You will have a star icon. I'll search for it. The top, then type here star. Okay, yeah, we have this icon. I will use star fill icon. To use this, I need to use this HTML. Copy paste. So here you will see the star icon. Okay, so I need 5 stars because I'm rating it based on the 5 stars. Okay, so I will use it 5 times here. So you'll see 5 stars here. Okay, but the stars should be displayed based on the rating. Okay, so let's consider that I have 4 rating for the star. Okay, so what I will do, I will create one variable here and I will say rating equals to 4. So if I have a 4 rating, that means there should be 4 stars displayed. Okay, I can simply write a number and based on that number I can display number of stars, but I want to display a fraction as well. Okay, so if I have a 4.5, okay, let's say I will take it as a 4.5 set. Okay, so I should see 4 stars and half star. Okay, so to do this I need to do some HTML and CSS changes on this. So what I will do is I will check the size width of this star. Okay, I'll inspect it, and if I hover over it, you will see its width is 16 by 19. Okay, so 16 is its width and 19 is its height. Okay, so all 5 stars will have a total of 80 pixel width. Okay, if I want to display all 5 stars, then it should have a 80 pixel width. So I will wrap this inside one div, and then here I will say style equals to width colon 80 pixel. Okay, so it will be entirely 80 pixel. Okay, so this is a div I. Okay, so this is the entire div. Okay, the div width, you can see the blue color is nothing but its width, and the orange is nothing but the margin. Okay, the outer margin. So we have a div here. Now how can I make it shorter? Okay, means like I want to display only 4 stars, 3 stars, or 4 and 5 stars. Okay, so to do that I need to add a wrapper div around it. Okay, that wrapper div can change its width based on the number of stars. Okay, so based on the number of stars, that wrapper div, okay, it will be wrapper around this entire div. Okay, and that will change its width. Okay, so let's see. I will add one more div here. Okay, and I will wrap this entire thing inside this. Okay. Now for now I'll just say style width equal colon. So for 4 stars I will use 64 pixels. Okay, so for 4 stars, the wrapper div will have 64 pixel and the inside div will have a 80 pixel. So if you check now, so you will see the wrapper div width is 64 pixel. The blue color text box, you can see it is only occupying 4 stars, and the inside div is having 5 stars. Okay, but I can still see 5 stars here. Okay, I have wrapped this inside this, but I can still see 5 stars. Okay, instead I should see 4 stars, which is actually inside this div. So for that, what I need to do is I have to do just one change, that is overflow colon hidden. Okay, so as soon as you do this overflow hidden, the overflowed content is actually hidden now. Okay, so that last star, okay, 5th star was overflown, right? So it is hidden now. Okay, so you can use this. Okay, I will create a class here and let's say crop. Okay, I will add a crop class here, and for this I will add overflow hidden, and I will add one more thing, cursor colon pointer, so that I can see the hand icon there. Okay, hand icon like this. So now if you see, all will show 4 stars now. Okay, because my rating has a fixed value for now, 4 star. And what if I want to use 4.5? Okay, okay, because the width is actually static here. Okay, I need to calculate this way. Okay, How do I calculate it? So what will be the formula here? Anyone can tell me? So I need to calculate the width here. So let's say in the start, it is star width is 0. I want to calculate this width. I'm doing it in the constructor. Okay. So I want to calculate this dot star width equals to, okay, what will be the formula? Hmm? Anyone? See, it's basically every star has a 16 pixel width, right? And if I want to show 4 stars, that means it's 16 into 4, 64 pixel. If I want to show 5 stars, it's 16 into 5. Okay. If I want to show 16 into 4, 4.5 stars, then it will be 16 into 4.5. Okay. So width will be displayed accordingly. So it should be this dot rating into 16. Okay. So this dot rating into 16, if you refresh, you will see 4 stars. Just a minute. Sorry. I haven't used this star width in component itself. It's still 64 pixel. Okay. I use property binding now. Style binding actually. Width dot px equals to star width. Okay. It's a variable and I'm using square brackets property binding. If I go and refresh now, you'll see 4.5 stars here. So the fifth star is actually half. That's because your data is overflown, okay, and it's hidden, okay, because of this overflow hidden. If I uncomment this, we'll see 5 stars total. If I comment this, we'll see the 72 pixel width and this is 80 pixel width. Okay, so that's how we can show the rating. Okay, understood everyone how this is shown, how this is actually calculated? Yes.
Mm. Yes.
Okay, what about others? Okay, good, good. Okay, create this, then we will move ahead after this. So first create the star component and add this HTML and this part, also the CSS one. Also, I hope everyone must have added the product rating. If not, you can add it now. And you need to also add bootstrap icons if you're using it.
Why have you given inner width as 80 pixels?
Because each star has a 16 pixel width and all five will become 80 pixels, 16 into 580.
Oh,
That's
okay. Mm.
I will be back in 2 minutes. No. हा जय सद्गुरू. उद्या चाललंय काय? हा हा. उरलेलं ठीक आहे, तुम्ही एकत्र करू शकता, पण ते माझं महिन्यालाच कट होणार. आता एकदा कन्वर्ट झाले की परत नाही. हा. हम्म. हा हा. ते तर बसवता येतील सगळं. 2 वर्षाचे बघायला लागेल, त्याचे 2 वर्षाचा असेल EMI तर करता. हा. अच्छा. हा, म्हणजे त्यांच्या साईटवर जर किंवा बँकेच्या याच्यावर 2 वर्षाचा EMI असेल.
Done.
Is it done?
Yes.
Okay. What about others? So is it done for everyone? Still remain. Shall I move ahead? Done. What about Rishikesh, Sonali, Momin?
Sir,
Yes.
I have one doubt.
Yes.
Whenever we will use Bootstrap,
Mm,
we won't use all of its classes and method. I mean, and yeah, all of its classes, right?
correct.
But while building, it
Mm.
will include the unused classes as well in
Yes,
the CSS.
because in the style search CSS we
Hmm.
have included the entire
Yeah.
uh,
So,
bootstrap.
is there any way in which we can purge unused CSS or
Uh,
icons or anything in
Actually,
Angular?
when you want to use it now, there are in the bootstrap. If you see in the SCSS file, we have this all these files. Okay,
Hmm.
so whichever file you want to use it, you can just import that
No,
file.
no, like
Mm.
just importing the CSS file the way we have used right now only.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, if we don't like after building the application for production,
Mm-hmm.
we want to remove extra styles which are not used in our application.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do that
So
in
uh,
Bootstrap or Angular?
there might be like in Angular right now there is no option, but yeah, if there is a plugin or for SCSS, then you can use it.
Okay.
Maybe some plugin will help, or some customized build tool that you can
Mm-hmm.
use. That
Okay.
can be helpful. I guess
Okay.
in Webpack, maybe it is possible.
It is using, I think Angular is using Webpack only.
Yeah, from 14 onwards, it is using a Webpack. Before that, it was not using Webpack,
Okay.
but now it is possible.
Okay. Mm,
You can check out for like these extensions. You get it. Okay, I hope everyone is done. Okay.
so the Tailwind will clean up the like drop unnecessary classes, right?
Yeah, because Tailwind has its own
Yeah,
custom
build tool. Yeah.
build tool, so it does that.
Mm.
Uh, but actually,
Mm.
Tailwind is more suitable with React and Vue.js.
Mm.
Angular, yeah, you have it, but they officially, I don't know till.
Now in Tailwind 3 they are supporting.
Yeah, then maybe it's possible. I
Uh,
think with Webpack, it is possible then.
mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move ahead now. We have used star component, and we are also displaying width. Okay, but the rating here, okay, is actually a hard coded one. Okay, we are passing hard coded rating here. Okay, and it is displaying based on the hard coded rating. Okay, so if I specify 4.5, it will display 4.5 rating. If I specify 4, it will display 4 rating. But I want to display it dynamically. Okay, each and every product here has a different rating, so it should display different stars. So how can I do it? So basically, if you see, this star component is an independent component now. Okay, it is displaying star. Okay, but it accepts the, or we can say, there is an variable rating. It depends on that rating variable. So whatever its value is, based on that value, it will display the ratings. Okay, it will display the stars. Okay, but that star, number of stars, the rating that you need to pass on. Okay, so basically, this is like your button component itself. Okay, if you say button, and inside that button, if you pass some class, then that class will be applied to that button. Okay, if you pass some type equals submit, type equals button, then that button will act accordingly. Okay, so we have a star component like this, and we are using the star component. I want to pass data. Okay, actually the data is with product list component, this product rating. Okay, is with product list component, and I want to pass this product list the product rating to this app star component. Okay, so how do I do it? Okay, anyone can tell me, like, is it possible, or it's possible basically, but is there any way we can do it here?
Use the parameterized constructor and pass the value
Ah,
in
okay.
product list component HTML.
Uh, Product list parameterized in a constructor
Yes, yes.
or
Not
star component.
in, yes, correct.
Okay, but here in a star component, we are not creating that object. We are not creating new star component, right? So how do you pass the rating there? If you are not creating an object, then how do
We
you pass?
can pass via product list HTML component.
Product list HTML component, but here we are not creating the app store component, right? We are not creating an object of it. We are just
Dependency
using a
injection.
tag, right? Dependency injection, yeah, that's a different thing. We will come to that. Okay, but right now, uh, if you see, this product list is a parent, okay, and app star is a child. Okay, parent, if parent wants to send the data to a child, okay, we have already seen this one. You can check this p tag. Okay, I'll just close this. Okay, you can just check this p tag. Okay, in this p tag, I want to display the title, right? So I have used this title property, and for this title property, I have passed product dot description, and that description is basically shown by that p tag as a tooltip. Okay, even with img src as well, we have used this img tag. I want to show the image for this img tag. Okay, so you need to pass the src value to this src attribute as a property. So here also, why cannot we do something like this? Okay, why cannot we have something like rating as a property, and then we can pass product dot rating to this? Why cannot we have it? We can have it for day, we can have it for like the existing tags we can have. Okay, but why not for our own custom tags? Okay, so this is possible. This is like we are creating our own custom property, and then we are passing the value to that property. Okay, but right now you will see an error coming here because this rating is, although it's a property of star component, we already declared it. Okay, but this rating property is actually just available in the star component itself. Okay, or in the HTML file itself, but it is not accessible outside of this. So how do I make it accessible? Okay, from here. So to make it accessible, actually, I can have a star width, I can have a lot of other properties as well. But I don't want all of those properties to be passed from here. Okay, from as a for an app star. Some properties might be private, some might be public. Okay, but I don't want all of those properties to be passed. So I just want this rating property to be passed as a property binding here. Okay, so to do that, I need to make it uh, @input. Okay, I have to add @input decorator to this. Okay, this input decorator is coming from your Angular / core. Okay, and you can write it besides this as well. Okay, because it's in a single line. So here, this means the rating, I can access it as a property binding in product list. Okay, like this. Now you can see the error has gone. Okay, now this rating number will be passed to this rating as a property. I can save it, and here it will be passed, and in the constructor you will get the value. But let's see whether we get the value in the constructor or not. Okay, I'll save it, and if you refresh your page, you can still see 4.5 stars. Okay, let's see whether I'm getting the rating value or not. Okay, whatever the value is passed. So I'll print it out here, console log with this dot rating, and I'll save it. Refresh, and let's check it out in the console. I can see that for all of these components, okay, all of the star components is printing 4.5. That means the value which I'm passing is not coming here. Okay, why is that so? Okay, that's because we are doing all of this calculation or printing the rating value inside constructor. Okay, so constructor will be called at the start. Okay, whenever the star component is created. Okay, and at that time, whatever the rating property is will be used here. Okay, this rating property which we are passing it here, okay, is passed at a later point of time after your constructor. Okay, that means after your object is created. Okay, so how do I get? So for this purpose, we need to understand how your component works. Okay, what is the life cycle of component? Okay, so let's see what is the life cycle of component. So you can go to angular.io, and there you can just search for life cycle, hooks, life cycle hooks. So here you will see component has a life cycle, okay, and it has I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 life cycle hooks. Okay, so this it has 8 life cycle hooks, and each of these life cycle hooks occur in a sequential manner. Okay, one after another. Some of them will be some of them will occur only at the first time, and some of them will occur at every time whenever the data is changed. Okay, so here you can see like there is ng on changes, there is a ng on init, ng do check, ng after content init, after content checked, ng after view init, ng after view checked, ng on destroy. So there are like 8 life cycle okay. Okay, let's see which will be called first. So in any component, okay, ng on changes is the first function will be called. Okay, you can see that there is an ng on it as well. Most of the time the freshers or a new developer who is coming to Angular, he gets confused with this, that there is an ng on it function, so it should be called first, but it's not like your ng on changes will be called first. Okay, in component lifecycle, this function will be called first and then ng on it will be called. Okay, but sometimes it may happen that ng on it will be called, ng on changes will not be called. Okay, that depends whether your data is changing or not. Now what type of data is changing or not? So it's basically, you can see here at the timing, okay, called before ng on it. So that means it already explains that it is called before ng on it if the component has in bound inputs. Okay, bound inputs means this input bound properties. This rating is the input bound property. Okay, so if this component has this input bound property, then and only then this ng on changes will be called before ng on. Otherwise, the component doesn't have this input bound property, then ng on changes will not be called. Simply ng on it will be called. Okay. So, and whenever one or more data bound input property changes. So it also says that it will be called before ng on it. Okay. And it also says that whenever one or more data bound input properties changes, that means if this property changes later on, then also ng on changes will be called. So that means ng on changes will be called every time whenever there is a data bound input property changes. Okay, so it occurs every time whenever there is a data change, data change. Okay, let's see the next one, on init. Okay, so it will be called once. So in the name itself, it suggests that it's a init. That means initialization will be done in this function, and it will be called only once. Okay, because initialize you always do once. Okay, so called once after the first ng on changes. So after first ng on changes is done, then only ng on it will be called. Once ng on it will be called, then whenever the ng on changes is called for input property changes, ng on it will not be called later on. Okay, ng on it is still called even when ng on changes is not, which is the case when there are no template bound properties. So as I told you, if there are no input bound properties, then ng on it will be called, ng on changes will not be called. Okay. Then we have ng do check, we have ng after content init, ng after content checked, ng after view init, ng after view checked, ng on destroy. Okay. So here you can see some hooks has init after it, and some hooks doesn't have init after it. So whichever hook has a init method, okay, those will be called only once. Okay, at first, the first time only they will be called, and they will be called only once. Whichever has this init, okay, and whichever doesn't have the unit, they will be called after ng on changes, and they will be called sequentially. Okay, so after ng on changes, means if it is like second time or third time, ng do check will be called. After ng do check, after ng after content checked will be called. After content check, after view checked is called. Okay, so that's how all the methods will be called. You can check into the description and the your timing functions here. Okay, most of the time you will see that ng on changes, ng on init, these two functions are used heavily. Okay, and then there is a last function, ng on destroy. This is also one of the important function. This we can use to clean up some of the stuff. Okay, we will see that in when we come to the services or RxJS part, that time I will show you its use. Okay, so it will be called immediately before Angular destroys your component. Okay, so your component is destroyed, before that ng on destroy will be called. Okay, and there are like, and there is a one more function, ng after view init. Okay, this can be also useful function whenever you want to access element, okay, which is initialized. Okay, which is means what do you mean by initialize? Means there is a element is created. Okay, this, let's say div element or some element that you are using in that component, that element is created. After that view element is created, then this after view init is called. So if you want to access that element, okay, and if you want to access some values of that element, okay, let's say if you are doing document.get element by document.query selector, something like this, okay, and if you want to do that, you can use he after view init. Okay, in that case only you will be able to see the elements properties. Okay, before this function or before this hook, you will not get object of any of the element. Okay, but you will get input bound properties. Okay, now these are the hooks. Okay, these are 8 life cycle hooks which will be called sequentially, and some of them will be called only at the first time initialization level, and some of them are called every time whenever there is an input bound property change. Okay, and they will be called sequentially. First of them is ng on changes. Okay. Let's see if this is called or not. So we can see that already your component is implementing on init interface, and it has a ng on it function. So every hook, okay, has a interface. So whenever you want to implement its method, you need to implement its interface first, then you can implement its method. So let's say I want to implement on changes as well. So I will do on changes. Okay, and if I'm doing on changes interface implementation, then I need to import and changes method here. I'll remove this one. I don't need it for now. I'll just print log here in ng on changes. Sorry. And here I will print in ng on in. Okay. Now let's see according to the definition, okay, or according to the life cycle hooks, okay, which one is called first. Okay. So according to the definition, ng on changes will be should be called first, and then ng on it should be called. Okay. Let's see what happens. You can see first ng on changes is called, then ng on it is called. For each and every star component, you can see that ng on changes is called first, then ng on and it is called. Okay, that proves that my function or method hook, which is called, is nothing but ng on changes. Okay, this is the first method which is called, or hook which is called. Okay, now you can check this rating. Now this rating property value, I will get it whenever the ng on changes is function is called. Okay, but let's say you use this in ng on it, whether I will be able to get it or not. Let's see here. Okay, so I'll print it here itself, ng on in it, and let's see. You can see in ng on it, you are getting 4.8, 4.5, 4, 3.7, 4.4, and 3. Okay, so that means I'm getting the rating value in on init, but in constructor I'm still getting 4.5. That means constructor is called before all of this. Okay, and at that time the rating, the input from property is not yet changed. Okay, the value which has been passed to the star rating or star component is not yet assigned to this rating variable. Okay, so you cannot use the constructor here. Okay, you cannot use constructor to change the star weight. Okay, but yeah, we can use ng on init to change the star rating. So I'll comment this out and check whether my stars are changed or not. Save and refresh. You will see this is 4.8, this is 4.5, this is 4. Okay, this is 3, 4 point some 4, 3.7. Okay, so you can see they are showing this rating, like this is the dynamic. Okay, each and every rating or star component is displaying different ratings because they are getting different values here. Understood, everyone? This life cycle hooks and how we are displaying, why we need should use ng on it for now.
Sir, but you said that ng on changes will run first, right?
Correct.
And why do we even need to use ng on init in this input case?
Yes, so ng on it, we right now I'm showing it on ng on it, but why do we need ng on changes? I will show you. Ng on it is always like will be done first. Okay, Now, if there are no changes in your rating, okay, then it's not necessary to do in ng on changes.
Okay,
Okay.
so like if basically we gave the star as an input, like user can change it
Yes.
at
If
that point
user,
of time, we
yes,
can use that. Okay.
right now user cannot change it, right? There is no nothing I can change it right here,
Hmm. Hmm.
because this is just for display purpose.
Hmm.
If I want to use it for display purpose, then there is no need to do it in ng on changes. Okay. I will show you this with
Okay.
example.
Okay. समझा
Let's say,
समझा.
okay,
Yeah.
let's say I have a button here, okay, and I want to change the rating. Okay. So on click of this, I will change product dot rating to, let's say, 2. Okay. So the rating should be changed to 2, right? So if I come here and refresh your page, all of them shows, okay, I'll just change rating. So if you see, if I click on this, my rating should change to 2. Okay.
Hmm.
So if I click on this, you can see the rating number has been changed, but there is no difference here. It is still showing 4.8. Okay. That's because you can see when I clicked on this, in on G on changes is called, when ng on it is not called.
Hmm.
That explains that whenever there is a input bound property changes, only
Hmm.
on changes is called, ng on it is not called. Okay. So
Okay.
if you are changing any input bound property from outside of your component, then you should use ng on changes for that purpose. Okay. So if you do this calculation here, okay, instead of here, if you do this calculation in ng on changes, you will see the values changing. You can see now it is changing.
Okay.
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 So if you want to change this input property from outside of your component, then use ng on changes. And if you don't want to, then use ng on headers.
Okay.
Why to implement ng on changes for that purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay. Yes.
understood everyone?
Yes. So can't we make that star itself as a button?
Yeah, we can make it. That's not a problem. We can make it
Yeah.
star itself. Like you can add a click here itself. Okay, here control X, and I can do here. Click will be available. Click is available for like all the events, inbuilt events are available for all the elements. So you can click on this. Okay. But you cannot like if I click on 3 and then it will change it. Okay. You have to customize that then in the rate star component itself. Okay. So if I click on this button, then rating should change to 3. If I click on this, then rating should change to 4. So
Mm-hmm.
that way you need to implement it. Okay. We'll do
Okay.
it. Okay. I will. This is actually good. I will tell you that example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first do this, then I will. By the way, everyone understood or not? Hmm? अरे कोई है कि नहीं, सिर्फ वत्सल ही दिख रहा है
हाँ
मेरे
हाँ
को।
समझा समझा.
नहीं, आप ही आंसर दे रहे हो, बाकी सब लोग किधर है? ओके, अबाउट यू ऋषिकेश, मोमीन, रवि, बालाजी, समीर, प्रणति, प्रियंका, व्हाट अबाउट यू गाइस? सागर, श्रेयस, हम लोग दोनों ही कम्युनिकेशन कर रहे हैं क्या? आप लोग हो कि नहीं यहाँ पे? किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं आ रहा है? इधर आप लोग को समझ रहा है या फिर आपको कुछ नहीं समझ रहा है? कोई जवाब ही नहीं दे रहा। ठीक है, ओके, लिख लो।
सर if app star से
Hmm.
हाँ ये प्रणव जी ने कुछ तो
So can we change color of stars in it? Yeah, you can. It's a icon font. Okay. So icon fonts can change your colors. They are like a font itself. Okay. If you want to change the color, you can just use this I tag or add a class to this, and you can change the color property of it. And let's say if I use yellow, yellow looks very red. You can see the color is changed. And directly add a color property. It's a font color. So whatever the font color is will be applied to your icons. Okay, because it's a icon font. Okay, an icon font is like a font itself. Okay, it's like you are using H, A, B, C, D, such type of fonts, and however you color change the color for those fonts, you can change color for this icon fonts as well. Okay, welcome. Yes, what's it? You're asking something.
क्या पूछ रहा था यस तो क्लिक के टाइम पे सर यहाँ से लाइक आई मीन द वैल्यू विल बी पास्ड फ्रॉम product component to star component, right? While changing the number of stars.
Yes, so here you can see when I'm clicking on this, so actually I'm changing the product rating.
No, but I want to pass that num to based on the number whichever star that I've
Yeah,
clicked.
yeah, I got you, and I'm taking that.
So
I'm going
it,
to take that.
that will use output
Yes,
decorator.
correct.
But we
Yes, yes.
cannot give a same decorator to rating variable again, right?
No, you can. Then it will be two-way data binding.
But it is not allowing me to do so.
Yeah, even I haven't
Okay.
tried that. You
Output
may you can try it out.
it was listing. I
Anyways,
cannot
is
input it.
everyone done with it? I will take that part.
Yes.
Okay, good. So let's do the other way around. Now, here you can see I'm passing the data from parent to child, right? Your product list component is basically passing this rating to this app store component. That means parent is sending data to the child component. Okay. Now, what if you want to send the data from your child to parent? Okay. So this also we have already seen. Okay. Right now also we are doing it. When we click on this button anchor, okay, what we are doing is we are clicking on that button, and when we click on it, it basically emits an event. Okay, and based on that event we call a function and we do stuff. Okay, so that means the data is actually sent from your button or anchor tab or any element is basically sent from that element to outside of that element. So that means you are basically sending data from child to parent. Okay, so you can do this using event binding. Okay, to pass data to child we use property binding. To pass data from child to parent we use event binding. Okay, so like we have a click event bound here, so similarly we can have our own event as well, which can send the data from star component to this product list component. Okay, how can we do it? So here, let's say I already have this star component. Okay. So right now, as Vatsal mentioned, when I click on this, any of the star, okay, based on that, I should send the, basically, I should change the, just a minute, where the star component, yeah. I should basically change the rating, okay, star width as well. And I should send that rating outside of this star component to product list component so that the rating can be updated in your object as well, okay, in your array of objects. Okay. So how can we do it? So for that, let's add a click for each and every I element here. Okay, how do I add it? You can add a click here, and let's say change rating. Here I will say 1. For all of this I need to add a rating, change rating. Here I will say 2, 3. 4, 5. Okay. Now I need to create this function. Where can I create it? I need to create it inside star component. I'll create this function here, change rating, and it will have a rating which is of type number. It will not return anything, so it will be void. So I have this function. Now this function, so when I get a rating, I should obviously calculate the width. Okay, so I will do the calculation of width part here. Okay, but this will not be this dot rating. It will be a rating itself. So I'll say rating because this is a rating which has been passed, and based on that width will be calculated. Okay. First, let's check this whether this works or not. So if I click on this 3, you should see, oh, it's 2. Basically, I'm doing this part. So first of all, I will change this one. Okay, and then refresh. 3. You can see 3 stars are shown. If I click on 1, then 1. Okay, there is no, I cannot increase the star. Okay, you can figure it out how we can do it. But right now, I can just decrease this rating. Okay, I'll keep that task for you. You can do it. Okay, now here when I clicked on this rating, okay, when I change the rating, I want to pass this rating from your star component to your product list component. Okay, we can do this using output decorator. Okay, so as we have an input decorator to get the input, we can have a output decorator to send the data outside of your component. Okay, so let's say I create an event, call it as a rating um, change, okay, rating change event, and okay, so whenever you create a output drop output variable, output bound variable, it should be event. Okay, so whenever I say event, that means you need to create a event object of event. So you will create new event emitter. Okay, now this event emitter is coming from an @angular slash core. Okay, make sure it is coming from @angular slash core. Sometimes it come like you will see 2 or 3 event emitters. Okay, some of them are coming from Node.js, some of them are coming from your normal event JavaScript event emitter. Okay, so use the event emitter which is coming from an @angular slash core. Okay, and you should see that it should be imported from your @angular slash core. Okay, now this event emitter is a generic object or generic class. That means you can use angular brackets here. Okay, and new, I use new, that's the reason I'm using round brackets. But this angular brackets, inside this you can specify which type of data it is going to emit. Okay, so it is going to emit a number because it's a rating, so it's a number. It is going to emit a number. Okay, so when I want to emit it, how can I emit it here? You can call this dot rating change dot emit. Okay, now inside this emit function you can pass a value which is either number or undefined. Okay, that means you want to pass the value, pass it. Don't want to pass the value, don't pass it. That's fine, but the event will be emitted. Okay, I want to pass it, so I will pass the rating which has been clicked here. Okay, so if I pass the rating, okay, now okay, if I pass the rating here, I will basically should get that rating here. Okay, how do I get it? How do I get this rating here? So like we are getting event, or like we are binding event object here or event handling here, we can do the same thing here. We can this is the event, rating change is an event. Okay, because we have created as an output event emitter. We can wrap it inside a round bracket and we can say rating change, and then we can call a function. Okay, let's say I call on rating change. Okay, so in this on rating change, let's say this is a function, or for now just I'll just omit this function. Okay, let's say as soon as I emit this rating, I will change product dot rating to the value which is being emitted. Now how do I get this emitted value? Anyone remember how we can get this emitted value?
Event dollar event
Yes,
dot
dollar event object.
value, I
Yes,
guess.
you can use just dollar event. This dollar event is nothing but this entire value which is been emitted. Okay. In case of event, normal events like click event, mouse event, okay, in that case you will get the mouse event object. But right now, whatever we are emitting here, the you will get it here in the entire dollar event variable. Okay, so this number will be there in dollar event. Okay, you can see it's a number because number is emitted. Okay, so this is how I'm changing it. Now you can see the product dot rating is changed to dollar event. I'll save it. Okay, now as soon as you save it, you don't even need to do this now because I'm changing the rating here. The your properties change. Okay, because the product dot rating value is changed, your property rating is changed, and as soon as the rating is changed, we are doing ng on changes, and in that we are calculating the star weight again. So don't even have to do this. Okay, you can save it and refresh your page. You can see if I click on 4, you see 4 stars. Okay, because in console you will see the ng on changes 4 has been emitted. If I click on 2, you see 2 is emitted and the rating is changed. Okay, understood how we can emit a data from your child component to parent component using rating event binding. And if you want to call a function, you can call it. Okay, and then in that also you can change the rating of that event. Okay, let's say if you want to do it, how we can do it? I will copy and paste it here. Function, and I will call a function on rating change. Okay, and here I want to pass dollar event object, and this rating will also accept product object because I want to change the product rating. And if I go to product list component here, I'll create a function on rating change. It will accept the product parameter which is of type product, comma, and the event which is of type number because the number is going to be emitted and return type is void. I can now save it, and here I can say product dot rating equals to event. Okay. The event will be assigned, and if you want to check using log, whatever the event value is, you can check it out. Refresh, it will do the same thing. Okay. I'll come here and change it to 4. You see 4 in product list component, 13 line, and again the value is changed. Okay, that's how also you can do it. If you want to do some further changes or do some logic here, you can call a function and pass the values and do those stuff. Understood everyone how to emit an event or how to basically pass the data from your child to parent? Yes.
Yes.
Cool. ठीक है, try this out.
खाली बसलं ते खाली
So the thing that we have done on line number 36, that will not mutate the products array.
This one,
Yeah, the one that is commented.
just a
This
minute.
will mutate the array or not?
Which one?
Line number 36 in product list component HTML.
Product list component. This one, this line.
Yes.
This is like
This is just on HTML page, or it will affect the original products array as well.
it will affect the original product
Okay.
because data is actually changed on the original array itself. That's the
Hmm.
reason the data is reflected here. If it does not change with the original array, then the data will not be reflected.
Okay. Okay. But if we used ngrx,
Hmm?
then we don't need to do all these things, no?
NGRX, if you are using it, okay,
Hmm.
uh, don't use NGRX everywhere. Okay, we can do it, but
Yeah,
for
Angular
parent child, if you
doesn't.
have a parent child, okay,
Huh.
always follow the input output. If you don't have a parent child, in that case, you can use NGRX. Okay, that
Okay.
will be better to do because NGRX the subscription will be open every time. In
Hmm.
this case, there is no subscription or something,
Hmm.
so there will be like references
Performance hit.
always be there in the memory.
So it will take a performance hit.
Yes.
But in React, we highly rely on Redux. Both are same, no?
Uh, yeah, but I means I that's the reason React basically is not used in the enterprise level application.
Okay.
Enterprise in the enterprise level application, React is rarely used. The
Hmm.
Angular is used for that purpose.
But when if
You
it
can you can
it
use it.
will.
You can use
Oh,
RxJS, but why to unnecessarily use it, right? If
yeah,
it is not.
no doubt it will complicate the application.
Mm,
But instead of this input output flow,
mm.
if we keep a generalized store.
Yeah, that you can do. There is a in Angular also you can use NGRX. Redux
Y-
also you can use it.
Yes, yes, I am telling asking that only.
Yeah, yeah, you can you do that also. Okay, but when you have an option available for parent and child,
Hmm.
then why to go for this part? See, why this is important? Input and output. Okay, so if you have a component, if let's say you have created a component, okay,
Hmm.
and if you use a Redux or NGRX kind of thing,
Hmm.
then it is highly dependent on that. If you want to make your component as a independent component and reusable component, okay, let's say you are creating a library, okay,
Hmm.
and you are just create a simple component and you are using state management for that. So you need that extra state management in your application. And if you want to reuse that component in another project, you have to copy that entire state management as well, right? Understood? If you have created one component and now you want to use that component in every project,
Hmm.
okay, then it will be like you have to copy the state management thing also along with that
But
action store all those things, right?
but
But
if it is a reusable component,
then input
Then,
and output makes sense, right? So let's consider when I use an Angular material, right?
uh,
Okay, and I just need to use suppose the autocomplete component. Okay,
okay,
so if I use this auto component, if I using this, and if I create a state, okay, store for this, the
mm.
entire the I need to create state for each and every component. Okay, either I can do that or I can create a, state for entire application. Okay,
But if it is reusable, then we don't need to create the state now, because in whichever
correct.
project we are importing it,
Yes,
that
correct.
project will have its own state and that can be provided
But every project needs a state. It's not like uh,
mandatory.
mandatory, right? And using NGRX is like, if you have a highly complex project, then only go for it. Otherwise, I would recommend you can manage a
Services.
state by yourself itself as well.
Yes. Okay. Okay. But in
Because
in React we don't have any other option, right? Because
yeah, in
that
React we don't have any option. You
prop
can use
drilling,
props.
yeah,
Yes,
that is
props.
a hectic.
Yes, because the props drilling is that a hectic part. Yes,
Because here though we can straight away connect
mm, correct,
the component, but over there we need to pass it through all the parents to
correct.
reach.
That's the reason we need a state too.
Okay.
Here also, if you have a like parent, child, 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 then if you
Mm,
want to pass the data from outer parent to a lower child,
mm,
then it is again a complicated thing. Then it makes sense to create a state for that purpose.
okay.
Okay, but if you have an independent component, okay, which can run
Mm-hmm.
independently, okay,
Mm,
which just works on some inputs and outputs,
mm.
then input and output is a great choice for that.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, Momin, you want to ask something? Momin, Azhar? Okay,
No, sir, nothing.
okay, no issues. So is it done for everyone? Okay, cool. So if it's done, then we will stop here, okay? Because I also have to uh, do the packing for tomorrow. Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll continue the next lecture. The next lecture will be on Wednesday, okay? Because I'm going out to my native place. Okay, so the next lecture will be